Testing 1, 2, 3. Welcome, John, to this thing that happens sometimes.
Every now and then.
Starring no coach, sort of. I don't know. I usually plan these and I didn't this time. Hi, John.
Hi, Brian.
Good week. I think this team is back. How about you?
I think we're never going to lose again.
Club World Cup incoming. No, but let's see. Last time we streamed, we hadn't talked about
We haven't talked since before Toronto.
Okay, we'll start with Toronto. I barely remember it, but I know going into that game, I expected a loss. So any amount of points would have made me happy, and to come out with what we did,
Yeah,
pretty stoked.
It's not that I expected a loss so much as it was I was expecting to get waffle stomped like a turd in a shower.
And the first half of the Toronto game, waffle stomped. I had to think about that. The first half of the Toronto game was gross and bad. Watching that first half, I'm like, okay, this is clearly a Nashville SC game where either we're gonna hold out and just try to not lose, or get turbo stomped in the second half.
Yes.
So the fact that Sam got 2, right?
Yes, because he hates Canada.
Yeah. No. Yeah. They even mentioned that on the broadcast. He specifically hates Canada. He scored a hat trick against Canada and a brace against Canada.
True. Too bad we don't play Canada 3 this year.
Yeah, if we can just move Nashville SC to the Canadian Premier League, that would be sick. We'd win the league.
I thought you were about to say Western Conference,
year.
and I was about to have some words.
God, no. Hell no. Nah, gross. Very pro Canada. We keep stealing all our Canadians.
It's true.
But at the end of that game, I felt good, but it almost felt a little fluky. Like, I will make, from now until we win a championship, I will make the "we're so fucking back" memes references after every single win.
Yeah. Yep.
And I did that, but it felt a little fluky, not gonna lie, because there was the bad first half, and then you just kind of had Sam put us on his back and carry us to the win, right? I mean, we as a team looked better in the second half, but metaphorically, Sam scored 2 goals, carried us to the win, right? Went into the NYCFC game. 1, hate them. 2, they're right above us in the standings, right? They're the next team up. They're in 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I went into that game being like, okay, if they come into this game and show out and look good, I'm comfortable enough in saying that we are at least on our way back. We're not back yet, but I see the kind of stepping stones to back them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is vibes, and vibes are, extended period unless you're just really bad really fast.
Yeah.
So I think it's chaining results is a big part of Nashville SC being back. Because what is it? Roma is like 3-1-3. So 1 loss in 7.
1 loss in 7 is impressive. Granted, you got the 3 draws, but we're Nashville SC, who hasn't changed anything other than the head coach and the formations and shit. So draws are still kind of to be expected.
Yeah. Well, and I think even more than results, don't get me wrong, I was really nervous about having a 1-goal lead against NYCFC for an extended period of time. But the patterns of play, and I referenced this in the Discord, the patterns of play were so much more encouraging than send it wide and someone will cross it.
Yeah. And while this team in its current state will always look and be a pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? The remnants of Gary Ball are going to be there for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like they're going to stick around because that's how the team is built. But seeing players, feeling a little more free to play their game right now is promising. Like I think Yearwood has looked the best he's looked the entire time he's been here in the last 3 games.
I agree.
I can't remember. I think it was against New York. He had one play of the ball where he was, surrounded by 4 or 5 people, dribbled through them all. Granted, it looked like he lost it at one point, but was able to get it back and then dished it off top of the box. Didn't turn into a goal, but like he looks like what I wanted him to be when he came into the squad. Like the first half of this season, he impressed me so little that I didn't even think about him a lot of the times, Like I didn't think about him as a difference maker or, really even a player on the team because like it's like he would come on, he would just kind of be there and nothing would happen. We'd get no movement forward, no creativity in the midfield, and we're starting to see a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, he offers more dynamism than I feel like.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Than Nashville SC has had from a midfielder in maybe ever, because like Dax can hit a pass, and Annabelle can hit a pass.
Yeah.
And Davis and Anunga can destroy a pass. But the balance of vision and being able to hit like not the type of ball that Annabelle or Dax does, but like weird little over the top balls. Yearwood's hit probably 3 or 4 of those this year, and it's like, damn, that should have been an assist.
Yeah.
But then also, like you said, being able to carry the ball.
Yeah.
Like it's another dimension.
We've seen him kind of pick that up and show that dimension of his game. We've also seen Tyler Boyd, I think, in the past 3-4 games do the exact same thing. Granted, he missed a wide open goal when he missed that goal that at the beginning of the game versus New York, I told myself we're going to lose this. I thought that was the beginning of the slippery slope to loss.
Yeah, I surprisingly was super okay with that miss because he's zooming. I still don't know
I'm not saying
if he's
it's
right foot or
easy.
left footed.
I don't know either because he's damn skilled with both. I'm not saying it's easy,
the
but the goalie's behind him. And if I had to pick someone besides Hani who's best in those like high speed, technical moments, I would pick Tyler Boyd. So I thought that's who I'd want to have that chance. And I was like bummed out when he, fucking whiffed it. Tyler Chambers in the YouTube chat asked, the thing I noticed last game was Serge and Hani seemed to be feuding. Thoughts?
I didn't see that at all.
You were at the game though, right?
I was.
Okay. First of all, my first paycheck hits this week. I'm back, boys. I'm going to games again. So
you picked a hell of a first game to go back to.
Our nightmare's over. But watching on TV, there was a moment, I can't remember which half, but I do remember the moment where Hani laid the ball off to Sam, who's cutting down the left side, which it's fucking weird that we have him at the wing, and it's even weirder that it's working, but we'll get back to that.
I have a hot take about that I'm very prepared for.
He lays it off to Sam, which immediately draws into the defenders, and then Hani is sitting not quite at the penalty dot, but a little bit to the left of the penalty dot, wide open, screaming, pointing at the ground in front of him. And Sam cuts it back and tries to do, granted, what he's very good at, his little patented curl to the back post, and it gets blocked. Hani falls to the ground and like screams at him, which justified. He was wide the fuck open. Like there was no one within 2-3 feet of him. I think because the cameras focused in on that moment, it looked, I'm not gonna lie, it looked like Hani was mad at him, and he probably was. But looking at their play on the field last game and this game, I think that's just the competitive nature of them. That's just, that's just gonna happen. I think they probably talked about it and made fun of each other and film later, like when they were watching film later, but I think it was fine.
Tyler Chambers also says, also, is it true that you think Hani and Sam suck? I'll hang up and listen. Thanks.
Oh God, that's Aaron. Aaron made another account.
Oh man.
That
I definitely agree with the end of your point though. Like, I think the fact that the camera is on that and it portrays that is a narrative that I have a hard time believing, solely because I think it's, for the past month, right? For the new coach bounce,
yeah.
the team's collective give a shit is back.
Yeah. I think that is a
So I
good
think
sign of give
that's
a
more
shittery,
like,
right?
yeah.
But like even like okay, Hani he yelled at Sam, right? Watch Anibal Godoy in any game he ever plays in ever. Like my mind goes back to Anibal, back when Randall Leal had legs. Anibal Godoy with the ball screaming at Randall Leal to make the run while they're running and dribbling down the field. Like he's pointing and screaming at him to make the run.
Yeah.
Like that's just gonna happen. It's just a part of sports. So I'm not too worried about it. But okay, you said you had a theory or something about Sam playing on the wing.
No, it's a hot take. One,
Okay.
just conceptually, I hate playing your DP9 as a wide forward,
Hey, it led to 2 goals and assists in the last 2 games.
but it's working. So I mean, I guess I
Yeah.
have to kind of just take that as it is. My hot take is: do you want to know who I think we should have had in that role from the fucking jump?
Huh.
Luke Hawkinson.
Oh my gosh, still on this, huh?
Yes,
Look,
because
it's time to let it go.
He's not Alex Mouille.
It's time to
He
let it go.
can't run like Mouille does.
Yeah.
But he can't play as a 9. He would have been a perfect role for the wide forward who
Yes.
and Sam tracks back pretty aggressively. But like, all I'm gonna say, it's a great role for Luke Hawkinson.
You know who'd be even better in that position? Jonder fucking Cadiz, who scored for Venezuela on Saturday afternoon, I guess.
I almost said something about like, I hope he doesn't get COVID during this international
Bro,
break.
him and international breaks don't have good relationships. He's going to get back to his Portuguese team, wherever he's at now, and stink it up. But dude, he's been lighting it up overseas. He's back in the Venezuelan national team. He scored for them. Granted, it wasn't like the craziest, most technical goal, but anything that proves
major
me
international tournament.
yeah, anything that proves me right, I love. So, fan-fucking-tastic. Bring him back.
I love how we both have our delusional agendas.
And I'm not delusional. You are. I've
Mm,
never had a delusion in my life. John Cadiz for the next manager of Nashville Soccer Club. Speaking of bringing people in, heavily rumored we're getting a new puzzle piece in midfield.
yeah, but I haven't seen it from Bogert, so I don't believe it yet.
That is the thing. I will not believe it until I see it from him, but I've seen it from multiple sources that usually would post these kind of things in the lead up.
Conceptual question about transfer rumors.
Okay.
Would you believe it more if it came from Tom Bogert, or would you believe it less if it came from Travis?
Wait, back.
Like if
it comes from
tweeted
Travis,
the
I'm just
same
not
rumor,
believing it.
But if they both tweet the same rumor, I mean, again, Bogert isn't going to tweet a rumor because this is his actual job.
Well, you see,
like,
Travis has been accidentally correct before with the intentions of being wrong at the start. So if I see Travis say anything, I just believe it's false until someone else proves that it's correct.
Yeah, I believe that.
But I'm trying to find the post now. I keep accidentally closing my fucking. Was it Patrick Yazbek for like 3.2 million, 3.3?
I don't know.
I can't. It's buried in my life.
Like I said, I genuinely. But what if it's Kyle?
But what if it's Kyle? If it's Kyle, I went to
Kyle.
high school with him. I'll extra not believe it. If Travis says the lie, I won't believe it and I'll laugh. If it's Kyle, I'll trip him and not believe it. I'll fight him. What was he gonna make? Patrick Yazbek plays in Norway, I believe. I couldn't find it. It's so buried in likes and shit.
But he's like an Australian U22
He's an
or
Australian. He
something.
came from the A League. Recently transferred over. It looks like he hasn't necessarily translated too well. He had a few highlights, but it looked like in the past like calendar year he hasn't really done much, which worries me. But Nashville's done more with less.
But I
in the
interest
past.
you in Nashville SC.
Yeah. The fact that he still has a going rate that high, who knows? But what I did like, the Nashville SC stats page put out some of his like stats and you know rates and shit. Very high passing rate, very high dribbling rate. I basically, if we can mold him into a Dax McCarty that can run, great. That's all we need in the midfield. I don't need him to score goals. That'd be great. If he can end the season with 10 assists and 2 goals, awesome.
Yeah.
Do it. Anything in the midfield, and the fact that they're willing now to go out and get young talent instead of decrepit old men that, you know, can barely run and it looks painful when they're in a full sprint, has me excited. And a new coach coming in that all signs point to BJ Callahan, which would be the second Brian Callahan and the second Tyler Boyd in the city of Nashville, would be amazing.
I was talking to somebody at the game Saturday. I need between two posts, but Dan has the Titans Tyler Boyd, and everybody is very confused.
Yeah. No, between two Boyds. They sit on the at the posts, and then he interviews someone else. They're not even
okay.
They're not even a part of the interview. They're just hanging out on their phones and
just there.
Yeah, between two Boyds. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm in. That's what I'm into.
So I did say in chat earlier, I'm very pro BJ.
Yo. Oh, I did see that.
So but the caveat of that is if he's the guy, he won't be the guy until the US is eliminated from Copa, and that's kind of disappointing to me because I want him like last week.
Well, okay, so here's when I saw the Patrick Yazbek transfer rumor, I thought to myself, okay, why would they be doing transfers or going out and looking for people without a manager, right? That seems wrong. I'm not in a front office. I don't know. But from an outside perspective, that seems like something you wouldn't do. The fact that someone's coming through signals to me they have a handshake, not official, signed head coach, aka BJ Callahan, who has suggested some players, or the front office has gone to him with players and been like, "Who do you like?" And
hypothetically, if you were to be a manager of one of these players,
and they have an agreement that as soon as Copa's over, you are the head coach, and that is what I think is happening right now. Because everyone's pointed to BJ Callahan, and obviously he's not going to leave during a major international tournament, right?
Right.
As soon as we're out of it or win it, right? He will come to Nashville is what I think is happening. And it's the thing that makes the most sense, because why would they go get a player with no manager?
Agreed. That was, H-Man brought that up in chat earlier. Said, I doubt that we make any signings, especially internationally, until we get a coach. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I still want the announcement, though. I understand why it can't happen. I understand why it won't happen.
Yeah.
I'm a fan, and fans have dumb expectations.
Give it to me now.
Yes.
I want it right now.
I wanted it 2 weeks ago.
Says, I'm not convinced that BJ is a good choice. I like actual managerial experience with a team and not some analyst that they threw into a role and coasted on high-end talent against a bunch of subpar teams.
Okay, but if Mike was going to hire somebody,
it's a good point. Listen,
be an analyst.
Listen, I looked into his coaching history. He was at like Villanova or something, and then got the job with the U.S. national team. From what I've seen from U.S. national team fans, which I am one, but I'm not a sicko. From what I've seen from the sickos, one, he was the interim coach for a little while and kind of helped usher this team along. But two, a lot of fans kind of give the good in the U.S. men's national team credit to him and the bad to Berhalter. Don't know what that means.
As it should be.
I'm not a sicko, so I watch the game and go woo. I'm not as into them as I am Nashville, but if he, I don't know. I'm gonna let him come to Nashville and prove himself. I'm not gonna be bummed out. I didn't expect them. I joked about it, but to go get like Klopp or somebody,
Right.
I knew all likelihood it was gonna be an American dude or someone who has coached in America before. I knew that's what was going to happen. That's just what this front office is going to do. Until there's a complete turnover, that's just what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think for what's available, I don't think it's an awful pick.
I agree. I think there's also that kind of comparison of, what are the other teams that have fired their managers going to look for in a coach? Who are they going to bring in?
Yeah.
So,
well, who's going to take? Who's going to take BJ Callahan's role on the U.S. national team? Right? It is Gary Smith.
Gary Smith.
Yeah.
That would be
what a trade, right?
We didn't even have to trade a pick or GAM or anything. Like, man.
Wow.
Clear winners.
So I don't know what are your vibes, John? What are your vibes on the next chunk of the season? So let's say
the next chunk of the season.
Next
I think July is gonna
5 to 6 games.
July is gonna suck.
Why?
Because 4 out of 5 away games.
That does suck, and we have not been great.
So we have Miami at home this coming Saturday.
Which they won't have Messi, so we should.
Or Suarez, but it doesn't matter because the league needs them to win.
Yeah, but in theory, we should beat their ass, right?
In theory, yeah.
They've lost 2 of the 3 players that matter.
I disagree. They've lost 1 player who matters a lot.
And then 1 who bites people.
The fact that Suarez gets minutes over Campana is a crime.
Isn't Suarez
Campana's a better player in every way.
Goals?
Hmm?
Isn't Suarez near like the top of the league in goals right now?
Probably, but Campana he fits what they need there forward to be a lot better.
But Campana doesn't bite people. Is
That's true.
Yeah.
I think going into Leagues Cup, I think Nashville needs to full on abandon the Leagues Cup. I'm talking like call up Huntsville players and play them abandon.
Yeah. There's what's our group? It's Mazatlan
Revs and Mazatlan.
Yeah, I don't give two like last year I wanted us to beat how am I forgetting the name of the team? Shit. Anyways, I wanted us to compete against the Mexican team last year. This year, Mazatlan fucking sucks. I don't care. They don't even have Akeloba anymore. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I legit don't care. But I'm gonna say the same thing I did last year, and I agree with you. Play bare minimum. Use that as an opportunity to get like Sipic or someone to get like make their debut or like bring in play a bunch of young players from Huntsville, like you said. And if we somehow manage to squeak into the elimination round, Toluca, thank you. I was like, it started with a T, I can't remember. I was like, Tulum? No, they have a team. Anyways, they might have a team, but I don't care. If we manage to squeak into the elimination rounds, sure, start taking it a little more seriously. But I would honestly, that first elimination game, unless it's against someone of significance, like Club America again or whoever, I do not care.
Could you imagine
if we play
Club America?
If we play Club America ever again in any circumstance, take it as fucking serious as possible because I never want to lose to them ever. Only
Completely
wins.
Agreed.
Only wins. Anytime I go to Mexico, I wear my Nashville SC stuff just to maybe try to piss someone off.
Yeah, well, there's a conspicuous blood stain and you're missing a kidney. So who's the real winner?
Oh shit. But yeah, I I want us to not give two shits about that competition unless we
Yeah.
progress. If we progress on accident, sure, a trophy's a trophy, right? And that's another chance to get back in the Champions League, which we fucking bottled this year. So if we can manage to sneak our way in, fantastic. Otherwise, don't care.
Yeah. And I mean the flip side, not the flip side, but like something else that's going to be happening at the same time as that is Walker's presumably going to the Olympics.
Yeah. Which
And
what I would assume Shaq would as well, right? Or I guess maybe because he did Copa, he won't do the Olympics.
who?
Shaq Moore.
I would not assume he would.
Okay.
The way the Olympic tournament for men's soccer is it's a U23
Oh
tournament
yeah, and they get like a certain
and you can
amount
have
of
3 overage players.
Yeah. Okay, I forgot about that weird wonky ass rule.
Yep.
Okay,
So
yeah, that makes
Walker,
sense. They're not going to take.
he's the presumed.
They're not going to take 2 over 23 defenders.
Right. Well, they might, but they would take center backs. And
Yeah.
I want to say the prevailing rumor that I saw was Walker, Mark McKenzie, and Brandon Vasquez
Yeah.
as the overage, but I don't know that either of those other two are anything more than rumor. But I bring that up to say, like, we saw early in the season how this went when Walker was hurt.
Yeah.
And there's already that looming anxiety of if he goes to Paris, how's Nashville going to be at the back?
Yeah.
So, at some level, if McNaughton was healthy, I feel like it's a different conversation.
Yeah. I think.
But the hope has to be Shaq gets back before Walker leaves.
Yeah.
Because if we could throw Bauer at center back, I'm not going to say I'm not worried, but like
I don't want to say that I'm anti Josh Bauer, but the last couple games have been rough for him. At least in my, donkey brain, don't know a lot about soccer, strategy, whatever. It feels like he is constantly making one too many touches or the wrong pass or just like fucking up and he's getting bailed out.
I disagree. I think that he's been playing really well as a right back because there's no way in hell he should be playing as a right back to start with.
That's fair. That is fair.
So that to me is where a lot of the grace for his performances has come in, because I mean I find myself like cringing in the stands or watching the games in the same way that I cringe when like Brian Anunga has the ball in the final third.
Yeah.
Where it's like he's not going to send a cross in, so it's going to be a back pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's that kind of like, okay, we know what's going to happen here.
He is a brute force player. He's not a creativity player.
Right. And defensively, though, like I feel like he's been as good, if not better, than could have been expected, because he's at best 4th center back.
Yeah.
On the roster. And it's not his fault that Mike doesn't know how to have depth.
Mm.
And he's being asked to be a fullback, not a wing back, not a center back in a back 3. And he's having to go up, down, and chase, especially someone like NYCFC. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They bring in young, fast wingers.
Yeah.
So, like, performances like that, where it's like, oh, yeah, he's being targeted, and you notice that, like, oh, he looks like he's struggling, isn't necessarily going to always actually be the case. I don't think.
That's fair. I hadn't taken into account Walker going to the Olympics. My hope is, like you said, that Shaq comes back. One is flying high from hopefully some good performances in Copa. But 2, that the team is kind of back on a level, playing field where we're not, in the, oh shit, are we bad spiral that we're in before when we didn't have Walker. Like, hopefully we kind of leveled things out and we're rolling going into that where it hurts less. Because I feel like a a big aspect of Walker being out the first time was we were leaking goals that we should not have been. And it was very dejecting to, the back line, the attackers, whatever. Like, when you go into a game knowing that it is a good Nashville SC game, if we score 1 or 2 goals, letting in 1 goal is devastating. So, hopefully we're kind of back on at a good spot by the time he goes to Paris.
Yeah. That's always the hope. And I know records don't always mean everything, but 3-1-3 in 7 games does a lot to get us closer to that point.
I think we are pretty solid in the playoff race. Obviously, I want to, climb some more. We need us to win and New York to lose. But I could see dropping a couple points in this short little stretch, like during the Olympics and whatever, being okay. I think we've built ourselves back up to a point where that's fine, as long as it's not like, hey, we lost 3 straight, or it's like draw, loss, draw, right? So, as long as we kind of keep things on pace, I'm not too worried about the upcoming stretch. Plus, we're going to beat the shit out of Miami, so I'm not worried. Predictions against Miami?
Predictions against Miami. I'm going to say a very contentious 3-2 defeat.
Oh, how dare you?
Because MLS needs them to win.
How dare you?
MLS was already very upset when we beat them in the playoffs in 2020.
They were, and
so look, it's just been years of revenge.
I get it, but I wholeheartedly think that without Messi and without Suarez, it's going to be not an easy game for us because we're still kind of rebuilding, but we should beat them. We should. That should be a game we win.
Yeah.
And okay, so we're going to go into the game, right? First minute, 45 seconds in, Hani Mukhtar from outside the box. Then, exactly 1 minute later, Hani Mukhtar from the same spot. And then nothing. Okay. Nothing until the 85th minute. And then Miami's going to score 2 goals in the 80 to 85th minute. And then Sam's going to put in the winner at the death.
Okay. Does the game finish 11 versus 11?
Yeah, but it does because we don't have Messi in the game, and we don't have McNaughton to throw shoes at people.
I thought you were going to say because we don't have Anibal to choke slam him.
We don't have Anibal Godoy to choke slam. McNaughton won't be there to clear the ball, which I guess is wrong to Messi fans.
Can't do it.
And Messi won't be there to fall on the ground and cry and have his bodyguard run onto the field and beat someone's ass.
Oh, man. That would almost be worth the price of admission.
I personally would not. If I was a professional soccer player on that field, if you put me in, you take my soul and you put it into someone on that field's body, I would not be afraid of Messi, the person. I'd be afraid of what his bodyguard would do to me.
Yep.
That guy is horrifying.
Yes.
And will kill you. But yeah. That's all I got for this week. You got any final thoughts, any final predictions or anything?
Not really. Just, been watching as much of the Copa as I can, been watching the Euros that aren't, during the middle of my workday. Really excited for player acquisitions. I have so we bemoan our right back depth all the time, and you'll get a kick out of this, Brian. I have an ideal Nashville SC player. I think he would fit the team's culture. I think he would fit the locker room. No, he addresses our right back depth problem.
Messi zombies are worse than Swifties in chat. That's fucking hilarious. And it's not
true,
wrong.
Though.
It is correct.
It's completely true. We signed Taylor's best friend, John Gallagher.
Oh, God. I wouldn't hate it.
Are you kidding me? I would love it. He's a competent player.
What I'm curious to see on Saturday, right? So in Leagues Cup, granted, Nashville during Leagues Cup last year was the best team at that point for having an actual home atmosphere with Messi coming to town. Like, yes, there were Messi fans all over the stadium, but Nashville did a good job at, being Nashville. We're going into a game Saturday where we're playing Miami with no Messi, but I'm interested if those Messi fans know that. I guarantee they do not, and there's going to be people there to see Messi who are going to be mad that Messi won't be at the game.
I think it's 65% of the people who would go to see Messi do not know that Messi will not be there.
I think of the
like
people,
2/3 of people.
Of the people you're going to see at the game in pink, half of them follow Miami because of Messi and have now become fans of Miami. The other half just follow Messi and are unaware of Copa America completely because it's not the World Cup, right? And are buying tickets to go see Messi and are going to be very mad when Messi isn't there and leave and demand a refund. I guarantee that's going to happen. They're the Karens of the soccer world.
You're not wrong. Did you see the rumor about that winger midfielder from Columbus that's supposedly being traded and that there's interest in a Shaft transfer?
Oh, I forgot about the Shaft thing.
The Shaft thing, yes. It's upsetting because I don't want it to happen, but I kind of want it to happen from like a business perspective.
I don't want it to happen, but did you see what Valaire said?
Mm-mm.
So Valaire said that like you do not want to hold young players back from your team in MLS because you then won't attract more young players. I get that. Like we let Alistair go to Celtic.
Indirectly, we sent him to Montreal first.
Okay, that's right. But then we got money when he went to Celtic because we had a trade on or a sell on. But and I agree with Valaire here, a move to a second division team in Spain almost feels kind of like a lateral move.
I agree. And
would likely not be worth it unless they offer like way more money, right?
Yeah. I think for Shaft though, you also look at because what are the other countries that are referenced like Belgium and Italy?
That's what I was getting at. If the other countries referenced that did not have a specific team or offer tied to it is for significant money or to a team of historical significance or a team that like typically is in the first tier but came dropped down and is trying to fight back up, like that move would make sense. But like just a straight move over to the second tier in Spain when one, he's not Spanish, two, he has no connection to the country at all. Like the move for Alistair made sense because it's one of the biggest teams in England and not in England in Europe.
Can we get a clip of that? That's hilarious.
No, one of the biggest teams in Europe. I'm Catholic. You can't do that. One of the biggest teams in Europe, not necessarily by how good they are now, but by prestige, right? And it's an English-speaking country. It was easy to make that move. Sending a Canadian kid over to Spain to a team that is a lateral move for not a whole hell of a lot of money doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, but the referencing Belgium and Italy specifically does make a lot of sense to me because there's a not proven pathway because it only happened one time, but Tejan Buchanan went from New England to Club Brugge a couple of years ago. I think he was only at Club Brugge for like one season, and then he went to Inter Milan.
Yeah, and the H-Man in chat said that Shaft's transfer market value is at $3.7 million, and we got him for essentially $300,000 in Monopoly money. That's fair. If we moved him for that, that would be more than we could have imagined when we got him for that investment, right? But I think he's worth every bit of that $3.7 million, and I don't think it's good for him to make that move. Like if Nashville can get that money, sure, do it. Fuck it, go. But I don't think it's one. This is part of me being selfish because I want him on my team. But two, I wholeheartedly do not think moving to a second tier team in Spain is worth 3.7 million.
Oh, right.
And it's not
completely
good for
honest,
him.
I'm kind of disregarding the Spanish second division team just because I'm on the same page as you that much.
Yeah.
But like, if a proven going to Belgium where you can develop, going to Italy where you can develop.
Yeah. Germany.
Like, it's tough to say no to that.
Yeah. Like if there was a Bundesliga 2 team that came through, like that makes more sense, right? They have a history of taking American players. He's Canadian, but close enough. And, giving them room to develop, become better, and move on to bigger and better things or become stars in Bundesliga, right?
Right.
Spain doesn't have that. Personally, I think Spanish football kind of sucks outside of the big 4.
Yeah,
4.
That's my thing. It's not that it sucks. I just think it's ludicrously top heavy.
Yeah. You got 3 to 4 teams that matter, and then the rest of them couldn't beat Nashville.
Right. I mean, they could. Let's not be completely delusional here.
No.
It's also like, I know it's a different conversation to having like a pure English player, but like, aren't there famously not English players in La Liga?
Well, I mean, Shaq Moore.
Because there's Jude Bellingham, but this is his first year there, and before that, like,
English? You mean English speaking or from England?
Specifically, I mean from England, but I'm leveraging that to be a point of English speaking players don't go.
Typically, I mean, we got Shaq Moore from a team in Spain, but we won't count that. But he's come over here and he's been a decent player. He hasn't been like anything crazy. Like, I just don't think for a young player who's showing out for Canada and doing well in MLS, I just don't think it's a good move.
Yeah. Well, and part of the reason that I want to the selfish Nashville fan in me wants to talk it down conceptually is because there's no replacement for what he brings to the field.
That too. I mean,
there's no pure.
Obviously, I don't want to
bring
lose the player, but from a pure, is it a good move for him and for the teams involved? I don't think so. It's a great move for the Spanish team, but they pull it off. But I don't think it's good for Nashville.
Yeah. And what was this about the trade rumor for a winger midfielder from Columbus?
I have no clue.
Because I know they just brought in AZ Jackson from St. Louis, but okay, so there's 3 American players in La Liga this season. Didn't Johnny Cardoso just get there in January though? I don't know that I count that, and I don't know who Cocken is.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Where's Travis when you need him to make up somebody's backstory?
But yeah, I have no clue on the trade thing. But
yeah,
we're at 45 minutes, so let's go and wrap this up.
Fine.
Yeah. We're gonna beat the shit out of Miami this weekend, and that's all I have. John?
I mean, that's more optimistic than what I have, so I think we leave it there.
All right. Well, thank you for watching, listening, doing whatever you do. We'll be back sometime. I don't know. Maybe next week. Maybe not. Really, it's just kind of all out of whim at this point. Yeah. Love you. Keys.